What do you think about last time you told me you were an ENTP? I mean INTP. You explained it as a TI thing.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I can still have TI while being ENTP. It's just my my ego attaches to rationality. Like I have a ego preference for rationality.
Do you think I don't?
Of course, I think so too.
I actually think that some people might like relate even more to, specifically extroverts, might even relate more to their introvert, their secondary function, because it's like that's the way like we process stuff. Like that's our inner kind of dialogue that's happening. Whereas like what we extrovert, we don't necessarily see. We just kind of do it, or we just kind of um,
Well, there's another
it's just
another
kind
reason for that. What you're saying is true,
of
but another reason is because the perceiving function isn't a judging function, so we don't use it to judge shit
that
with.
that that's also true. So it could just be true of all EPs relate more to their inner judging function. I don't know. Like me specifically, like I totally get with FI. I'm just like, yeah, I got the FI. But I'm just like SE. Eh, do I have SE? But I think I have SE because I don't think I have any.
You're
So
like, hey, FI, how you doing? Come on over
The
here.
reason
I want to
the
get with
reason
you
I
right
think
now.
the reason I think I have TI is because I'm always judging things based on their value.
On their value, like this is
Yeah, like
this,
their value to not the truth value, whether or not I can like distinct distinctly tell whether something is of value to me.
okay, but how often do those things
I'm
change?
always like on the judging, and that's why I have a lot of anxiety about my environment. Whenever I'm close to something that, like an edge or something I can fall off of, I have a lot of spasms that happen, and I try and like snap myself out of this this vision almost of like being masochistic.
Well, um, how flexible are you with your positions, though? You have a certain flexibility about you.
Not really. I mean, it's that I have a very strong handle on my reality, so I can like just distinctly show what I mean in a way that I can give other people values that will consciously trigger them. So I'm always trying to trigger other people. So that's why I look like I'm so widespread in my ideas. It's because I'm looking for the next thing that'll start the conversation to get it onto the next cycle.
Right, because you're extroverted.
Nothing follows.
Kind of does. You just described your priority as being an FE themed extroversion impacting other people thing.
Maybe.
So, okay, but that's what we did a little bit of this video here on that topic. Let's make sure we have a topic there. I mean, I think the topic there is the challenges that are associated with trying to determine the difference between your top judging function and your top function. If they're not, because like for an ENTP, I utilize TI all the time. I am Mr. Thinking, right? I think a lot. I talk about thinking a lot. I blah 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 blah. And so, if I were to come into this thing cold, I might say, well, I'm obviously introverted thinking first. If I were to read those all different descriptions, I'd say, well, this one I'm clearly first. Because it's much easier to understand what a judging function is and what it's doing. It's much easier for you to conceive of yourself utilizing the judging function because it's used.
The only thing I have a problem with is that I think I heard INTPs have very strong intuition.
Well, I mean, it's their tool function,
Yeah.
but it's our nature. I mean, INTPs have stronger TI than I do, but it doesn't play out like that in the world. The reason it doesn't play out like that is because both INTPs and ENTPs are doing the same thing. They're using a combination of thinking and extroverted intuition to do their thinking. They're using both. And so their thinking plays out very, very similarly. The difference is in the presentational stuff. The disadvantage INTPs have is they have access to just as many ideas, just as much processing energy, but they keep it all internal. So it doesn't display as well, and they're also they're stuck in pre-work forever. The curse of the INTP is the curse of pre-work. They will eventually explain it all to us when they get it all figured out 40 years from now. So,
I was such a lazy person in school. I didn't do any of my work assignments, and I just passed by.
that's both ENTP and INTP, though, because while INTPs are still trying to piece it all together and have it all figured out before they have to actually present anything, ENTPs are double the ADD. So we can't sit still and we can't do our shit, and we think that's.
I'm just not very good at getting the activation energy for my requirements. I'm not good at starting it.
Right. I also thought I was an INTP, and I do act more like an INTP nowadays, but I am most certainly still an INTP. So, Callum, what makes you so confident about it? Because I understand what you mean when you say that. I can understand how somebody might make the arguments that I'm an INTP, but I'm definitely not remotely an INTP.
Eric, who would ever call you an INTP?
Bo, probably.
Okay, in that case.
Based on his rationalizations are all over the place, like an ENTP's. Your rationalizations for this shit are all over the place, dude. That's very ENTP.
What I try to do is I try to fit everything into a big puzzle.
And did you complete the puzzle?
No, it's still going on. It's
Still
constant.
in
The
progress?
energies are all serrated and going off into different pieces.
I have to get another soda. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Unify, what do you think Bo is?
NTP, but I'm not really sure, so I might change that answer.
Unify, your voice sounds like my brother's a little bit.
Really? How?
Yeah. Like, the tone, I don't know. And, also, I don't know, this type of, laid back kind of, the way you say your words, if that makes sense. Like, the way you actively put words out. Sounds like him. I don't know. But he doesn't have an accent.
I don't know. When I say stuff, I just feel like I rode the short bus my whole life.
You're what? You're gonna be short? You're what? You're what?
No, the short bus. That's what I feel like. I rode the short bus.
That's what you feel like when you talk?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you feel like you think your voice makes you sound like you're incompetent in some way?
Kind of.
Guys, I'm as surprised about this as anybody, but I just got back from taking a quick test, and it turns out I'm actually an INTJ.
What?
Yep. I've been INTJ this whole time. I didn't know. I'm as shocked as anybody. So I gotta stop acting like this.
INTJ wouldn't be so like let loose with their truth value.
Yes.
They would be strict.
Yes, we are. I'm a textbook INTJ. We do that all the time. Ohami, yes, I've joined your team. I'm now an INTJ like you.
Eric, if you're an INTJ, I'm an INTJ.
Let's all be INTJs
I'm
from
an
now on.
INTJ.
We can all be INTJs together.
INTJ party.
I mean, everyone on the internet wants to be an INTJ. It makes sense.
Here, if we're gonna have an INTJ party, we all turn off our mics and cameras, and we write 5-word sentences to each other in chat every 5 or 10 minutes. That seems unlikely. You go. I'm curious about this cognitive function. It perhaps would do this. That seems unlikely. And then there's like 5 minutes where nothing's said. They're all thinking about it.
We could just stare at each other.
Yeah.
With just dead eyes.
Stare at each other, but not stare at each other.
Stare at each other with bad eyes. We have to have bad eyes to be INTJs.
We like look through each other.
Look through each other. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll work on that. We'll work on that. Some future video will come in and we'll all be INTJs. But for this one, as it draws to a close, I want to thank you for remembering to always bring plenty of Yuletide spirit with you wherever you go, because you never know.
What about cheese?
Well, even if there's more to life than cheese, there's also Yuletide spirit. I want to ask you this: has anybody here gotten yet? Besides me, obviously, I've gotten it, of course. Anybody gotten their Yule logs for the upcoming holiday season? No.
No.
You guys are behind schedule.